One of the great pleasures working how I do is I get to meet some of the most fascinating people in the world. And one of those individuals who I always consider a deep thinker and a powerful wordsmith is a gentleman by the name of Robin Sharma. I had the opportunity to work with Robin for several years, and it was a unique and very pleasurable experience. In fact, when we first talking about working together, he decided that he wanted to do a walking meeting. I invited him to dinner and he said, no, I prefer to go for a walk. Now, what he didn't mention was that this walk was in Toronto in the winter. I think he wanted to see if this California boy, at least that's what he thought I was, could actually handle a Toronto winter. But what he didn't know is I spent a lot of time climbing mountains and lived on the East Coast, and due to this day, he always knew me from the industry and I was always in California. So we got out there and he looked at me, is he ready for this? After a meeting, and I said, absolutely. Donned my leather jacket and he looked, he goes, you know it's cold out there. What he didn't know is that leather jacket had 2 inches of insulate on the inside, and I had worn my merino wool sweater, and we were just going to have a nice walk. We had a lovely walk and talked about the industry and what he did and where he was. And I became just so impressed with his deep thinking about specific areas. If you haven't followed Robin Sharma, you can learn a lot. He is a true artist, an icon of the industry. His books sell millions all over the world. His most famous at this point, I suspect, is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, but some of his other ones are equally as fascinating and deep. You can tell he's a writer because his emails are always long, giving value. What I learned is he takes as much care of all of the work that he does. It is always of top value. It is always very useful. It's lovely to see him on occasion, and when we're in the same country, we promise to get together and always have spectacular food. I always think of him when I go to Rome. He made a suggestion of a specific place that I always go to and lift the glass thinking about Robin Sharma. So lo and behold, it wasn't very surprising to me when all of a sudden I saw on Instagram today a quote from Robin Sharma. That's not surprising. I mean, he had an amazing team that worked with him to produce the materials. But the quote from Robin Sharma, I'll put it up, was not actually from Robin Sharma. It was from another individual. It says, don't live the same 75 times and call it a life. And if you look, it's actually a video. I didn't capture the video. And you look at it's actually not from Robin Sharma. It's from another individual. And it has created 87,000 views. Now, this was actually produced and sent by a friend of mine as just a regular post. So an individual saw this, thought it was so good, and reposted it. And this individual reposted Robin Sharma's idea. I want to talk to you about the power of getting your word out there. These few words come out as a powerful reminder to the point that they inspired other people to quote him and other people to actually recommend it. Knowing Robin, he would be very proud of this, that he is making a difference outside of his direct influence. He knows this and he understands this process, but it's the hard work of using words and using story and getting out there. One of the other things Robin is he's incredibly consistent. If you watch the materials he does, he's always consistent about his quality. He's consistent about his writing. He's consistent about everything he does. And it pays off. It pays off by individuals who don't even know him grabbing that information and putting it up. Then other people recommending it. Being able to get yourself out there in a regular and consistent basis over a period of time makes a difference. The influence you have is not something you can know in a short period of time. It's not some ROI that you can measure. It's something that happens over a period of time. Robin has been at this fight a long while. I'll let him tell you how long. He goes into deep concentration to do his best work. And it shows. The work comes back to me on a regular basis. And it's beautiful to see and it's lovely to behold. And in the grand scheme of things, this is our ability to influence the world, not now, but in the next generations. One of the reasons I've started these ideas is to be able to capture them, not only for you, But for my next generation, my son, he wouldn't be interested in this stuff right now. Legos and Boy Scouts are much more interesting. But at some point, I hope he'll look back at these. And I hope you'll take your knowledge, your ideas, your inspiration and share them. And share them wide and share them broad so that we all can be inspired. We have an amazing tool here. And that tool is the ability to deliver relatively no cost to literally billions of people. Not just now, not just your likes, not just your wants. It's billions of people over a period of time. You can still go back and look at the first YouTube video ever done. It has millions of views because everyone watched the first YouTube video. Imagine, if you will, creating that content, doing the deep, hard work to make sure it's good, and then delivering it out to millions of people, not just during your lifetime, but in the future. Imagine the benefit that would give the population, because we all have something to teach and give. But also imagine the benefit to your company, to your organization, because people like to buy from people they know. People like to tell stories about people they know. As we create this digital world that continues to push us aside, to alienate us, to make us smaller and smaller, sharing what you know for the world becomes not only valuable for the world, but also for you. Is true. A small writing of a few words has generated a gentleman to create a post. And that gentleman has influenced 87,000 people. And post then gets relayed to another one. And then I get to see it, and I get to smile, and I get to now talk to you about what I know and how important a few words are, and how important creating that legacy over a period of time is. So those few words that Robin penned, and I'm sure penned it in one of his journals, and he's got a whole process, in fact, an entire book on how he does that, and I've followed that advice for quite some time, has generated exponential views and exponential exposure for him, and still triggers fond and great memories. So what are you doing to capture your legacy? What are you doing to capture your knowledge? What are you doing to share that with the community in recognition that not only is that a good idea, but it also is valuable to you and your organization? Because people buy from the people they know. How much do your customers know about you? How much do your customers want to know, like, and care about you so that they become tighter? How are you breaking the digital divide? I'd like you to think about that. And maybe that's just writing down something and recording it for your family. But I want to encourage you to think about providing it for the greater world. It's scary. It's hard. It takes practice. But in the long run, imagine the influence you could create. And one day, maybe one of your quotes will be on someone else that they don't know. And you've inspired them, and they've inspired others, and it will come back to you 1,000-fold. Do me a favor and write your favorite small sentence or small inspirational quote that you love. Everyone's got one. Put it in the comments below so we can all share it and have some conversation. We'll look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained. See you in the next video.